Hey everybody, it's me again, Kale, here once more playing Tales of Arise. Last time we left off, we had made it to Lenegus, and shit went down while Dohalim and Shion were gone. Actually, in, like, most recent history. Apparently, when the wedge shot out, the entire place kind of got disheveled as fuck. And now there are fires breaking out everywhere, people are trying to do their best to, stifle the chaos, and Zoogles have broken loose, so... yeah, it's going great.
Your lordship. Oh, what a great honor it is to finally meet you.
Hello.
I descended to Dana during the last crown contest.
Also, Dohalim met an old
Alas,
friend,
when
and now it's the
contender I
Dohalim
was
arc.
backing failed to clinch the title, I returned. I witnessed the deaths of so many slaves.
Indeed.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're looking for a woman dressed all in red. Have you seen anyone of that
I have to
description?
change her outfit, damn.
All red, eh? No, I can't say I remember anyone like that. I imagine she'd stand out somewhat, too.
Yeah. What about down on Dana during the crown contest? You didn't see anyone like that hanging around the lord you were serving?
What's with all these questions? I've never seen her, okay? Not recently or otherwise. Why do you want to find her anyway?
Never mind. Forget I asked. Sorry to take up your time.
Yeah, don't worry about it, buddy. We'll move on. He was weird, right? Yeah, very weird. Yeah. Also, what would look good on her? Those cat ears are almost perfect. Rabbit ears less so. I kind of like that. Angel wings to contrast Rinwell's devil wings. Sure, why not? The star hair clip? Yeah. There we go. Oh god, she looks so badass like that. It almost makes me okay not having clear view of her eyes. So I kind of like that single set of wings off the back. It's kind of badass. Nah. Slowly I'll find outfits that speak to me. Excuse me, ma'am.
Is everything okay? You look a little lost.
Oh, yes. I can't seem to find my way home, is all.
It'd be kind
I was
of...
just about to make my umpteenth attempt at a new route.
I was hoping to head this way myself.
What's it with all these weird,
Situation
like,
is a real pain,
colloquialisms?
I suppose the Sovereign knows best. I daren't stay here too long, though.
Daren't?
A lower caste can only linger around these parts for so
Daren't?
long before I outstay my welcome. I was
Daren't.
hoping to
I'm
avoid
good with that,
it, but
actually.
maybe I'll have to go that way after all.
You mean you know another way round?
Lord Dohalim Ilkaris! But how? Last I heard, you were in Dana competing in the crown contest.
Yes, strange, isn't it? If you know another route, we'd be grateful
Yes,
if you could tell us.
I know, it was weird.
But
Anyway,
of
moving
course.
on.
Please forgive me. There's a wall that sprung up ahead of here, with what looks to be an entrance in it. I thought maybe it was a passageway between the different quarters, but I've no way of knowing for sure.
It's worth investigating, at least.
Agreed.
I shall go and assess the situation. In the meantime, wait for me here. If it looks safe, I'll come and let you know.
You'd really do that for me?
Of course,
A
because
lord
I am
troubling
Dohalim
himself for
Ilkaris.
someone of my lowly status?
Our lot in life is of little consequence. We are both Renan, first and foremost.
Oh, why yes, my lord. Thank you.
Wake up, sheeple!
Well, we've canvassed the city for information. What do you think?
No one has the faintest idea what's happened to the city after all. They haven't heard the news about the crown contest either.
You'd think that info would easily find its way up here. Has it always been like that?
Not to this extent, which would indicate that something's suppressing the truth, that Lenegis is under some kind of control.
Indeed.
Given everything that's happened to their city, the people here seem weirdly okay with it all.
They're complacent.
That one guy even said his Zoogle had stopped listening to him. If that's true, these
They're
people
as
are
bad
in
as
big
Doc
trouble.
was.
Everything that happens here is attributed to the Sovereign's will. It's the way people have been conditioned. Their belief runs deep. Nothing happens devoid of a reason. To them, it's all part of the Sovereign's grand plan.
The Sovereign's plan. There is one thing I'm still not sure about. Just who is this person ruling over Lenegis?
The Sovereign, of course. He rules from Rena while presiding over both Rena and Lenegis.
Or so the
Without
story
the lords
goes.
or anyone in the middle doing his dirty work? Isn't Rena at least the same size as Dana? That's a pretty big dominion for one person to rule over. I would have thought ruling Lenegis alone would be difficult enough.
The points you make are valid, though I confess I'd never given it much thought before. Here, the Sovereign's total authority is as natural as night turning to day. Come to think of it, I know nothing of the nature of how Rena itself is. Shion, have you ever been... No, forgive me. Have you met or crossed paths with, or even heard of someone who's actually made a
Here's
visit
where it
to the
all comes
homeland?
together.
No, I haven't.
Neither have I.
The homeland
In
is a
which case,
myth.
I would imagine that... But no, surely not. Can it really be that no citizen of Lenegis has ever been there?
I don't actually know yet. I
Hold
haven't
up.
gotten far enough
what
to
are
figure
you
out
getting at, Dohalim?
what all this adds
Assuming
up
what I
to.
believe to be correct, it's possible that no one on Lenegis has ever laid eyes on the actual Renan homeworld itself. No one but the Sovereign, that is.
But what about trade and communication? There's got to be a flow back and forth, surely.
Not if the Sovereign is imposing his will on Lenegis single-handedly. It could be a one-way street.
But I thought you said that the Sovereign's all the way over on Rena. If that's the case, can he really rule directly over Lenegis from so far away? What if something were to happen to the city, like now?
I'm beginning to wonder what the nature of this Sovereign even is. Alphen said he was forced into the role, right? Just before the ceremony. But Sovereign is also the title given to the almighty Renan ruler. So which one is it?
There's a lot of mysteries at hand
Whoever
here.
wins the crown contest inherits the throne from his or her predecessor, before becoming ruler over all of Rena and Lenegis. Thereafter, that individual is known as the Sovereign. Though, it would appear that the current ruler has gone silent. As for
I
how
like it.
Volron factors into all this,
Weird.
at this point, I no longer know what to believe.
3 centuries ago,
Yes.
I became the
He
sovereign
had
here
sovereign
on Lenegis.
powers.
No, not just became, I was forced to. Me, a Danon. 300 years later, we cross paths with Volron, who also bears the Sovereign's crest. That's not the only thing we have in common. We both became sovereign without winning the crown contest.
Do you think Volron was made sovereign for the same reason? Because of that ceremony?
I can't say for sure, but it certainly sounds like
There's
it.
a lot of mysteries
But
afoot.
that would mean that 2 sovereigns would need to exist at any one time. One whose job it is to rule, and the other for ceremonial purposes. We never did see Volron's body back in Ganath Haros.
Yeah, he ain't dead.
Is a new ceremony underway with Volron at its center this time?
He gonna pop back up.
Could
It's
that
gonna
be
be
what's
weird.
causing all this strange activity here?
Wait a second. You don't think Volron and the Red Woman are working together, do you? The ceremony can't go forward without the Renis Alma. The same one that the Red Woman stole.
There's something else the ceremony needs. A maiden. And unless there's another one out there aside from me.
Questions, questions, and yet more questions. Ones
We ain't got
that
no
seem to
answers.
remain unanswered
We need answers.
until we can establish the Sovereign's identity.
Go find the Sovereign
If
and
the
bring it out of
Forbidden
him.
Zone really is off limits to everyone but the Sovereign, that seems as good a place as any to start. For the sake of liberating Dana, too.
Hell
Then
yeah.
it's decided. That's where we need to go.
I mean, we already
One
knew
of the
that, but
citizens mentioned a passage that she thought might lead to another section of the city. It could point us in the right direction. Let's go find it.
sounds good. But first, this.
With nobody left to run the show, I wonder what the people here are. I mean, there's sovereigns up on the Renan homeworld, and all their lords were sent to Dana.
And 4 out of 5 of them are dead or missing in action.
But Dohalim was a lord, right?
Only current acting lords have power. Renan society is quite strict about such.
Even if the other lords were still around, I doubt they'd be able to do much about the situation.
I wonder what they'd think if they were here to see Lenegis now. Balsif, Ganabelt, Almadria, and Volron. Now that I think of it, aside from Dohalim, we know next to nothing about the other lords.
Yeah, we didn't really get a chance to talk to them because, you know, they were busy trying to murder us.
Well, yeah, why would we? To us Danans, they were just enemies we needed to overthrow. Nothing more.
I know. But seeing Renans in their own city, going about their day-to-day lives, it gets you thinking.
It feels strange to imagine the lords living here too, you mean?
Yeah, a little.
If you're that curious about them, why not try inquiring with some of the local? Every lord in their household has their share of supporters here on Lenegis. And luckily for us, the people here are unaware of the events on Dana, which means they should be more inclined to talk to us.
You mean they don't know we killed them? Perfect. The most excellent cover. Let's go learn about the other lords, shall we? Oh, hold on.
I didn't realize Renans oppressed their own kind, too.
And yet,
They just can't get enough of
none
this
them
stuff.
Seem to mind. Am I the only one who finds that strange?
It is the way things have always been, so no one thinks to question it. You have experience in that regard
Yeah,
yourself,
after
do you
a
not?
couple of generations, people just stop
Unquestioning
seeing different.
acceptance of your own servitude.
There's no
Yeah,
different
that
way of
sounds
living.
about right.
It's rough,
Even
man.
so, the quality of life here seems much higher than any Danon city we visited. I used to think it was impossible to build an ideal society without wealth. But I suppose having it doesn't always mean people are treated fairly either.
More to the point,
Mood!
not a single citizen seems to have even heard of the Red Woman.
What if she's not here? What if it turns out we're looking in the wrong place entirely?
It's still too early to say anything for sure.
For all we know, she might be able to blend in, move around unnoticed. I say we hold off judgment until we've exhausted every avenue.
Oh, Jesus Christ, there's so many.
Tell me, Dohalim, has that skill of yours
Oh,
got
I
a
remember this
name?
one.
And what skill would this be, pray tell?
This is a good one.
You know, when you're talking to people around town. The way they suddenly become putty in your hands.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow.
I do. It's called friendly intimidation. Look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto, you'll have people wrapped around your finger in no time.
Kisara knows him
I
so
would
well.
never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feelings of intimidation are solely in the eye of the beholder.
So there is a knack to it. How do you learn it? Can anyone do it?
Now you've got me curious. Is there special training to master?
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must. Oh, and it helps to be old-fashioned, too. Bonus points if you speak in a way no one can understand.
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out and say it.
What? They look up to you, that's all. I'm just helping them along.
Hey! What's got into Alvin and Laurel
Cut to
all
like
of a sudden?
15 minutes later.
I can barely understand a word they're saying. And what's with the weird poses? Was it something they ate?
I hope you're willing to take the blame for this one.
I wasn't expecting them to take me so seriously. I'll go and have a word with them.
Elfin and Law just start JoJo posing all over the place. You want to know which lord I support? Why, are you out canvassing for someone? I'm with His Excellency. It will say Tildillis? You'll probably know him better as Lord Balsif. See, I can't even... Or we'll say Tildillis. Or Balsif. He had a chance to choose his own name. And he chose Balsif. Continue, sir. I know a lot of people consider him to be a giant brute. Believe me, I realize he can be an aggressive man. What those people don't realize is how much he looks after the members of his house. It's fair to say that House Tildillis doesn't enjoy much esteem. Those of us who serve it will be the first to admit that.
Yes!
But His Excellency always stands up against any who would mean us harm. Of that, we can be sure. His efforts in the crown contest aren't only for his family, to improve the standing of each and every member of his house.
Yes!
I owe so much to His Excellency. I could never dream of serving any other lord. Well, you might want to consider it, just saying.
Balsef had it in him to care about someone other than himself? Really?
It's possible. A change in position can do much to alter one's perspective.
So even he might have had something he
Yeah,
wanted to protect.
and standing above many others when you're a person who is consistently looked down upon by others can be overly intoxicating. Oh, I remember this lady. She's weird. Lord Dohalim, you've returned! And I see you brought aides with you. Remember who I am, my lord? Surely you must, yes? Not only do I support House Icarus, more specifically his lordship personally. So much so, I've been trying to share my appreciation of his lordship to any who will listen. In fact, I was planning to publish my extensive writings on the subject through this very terminal for all to read and enjoy. But since the lines appear to be cut due to the recent tumult, I've been unable to upload them. Mood, lady. I know. Since you're all here, I'll just read them aloud. There exists a most handsome man, a man who radiates beauty, whose every word, every syllable is divine poetry. He hails from the famed House Ilkaris, and his name, Lord Dohalim. Music is his passion, the arts his great love. The scores of boorish, uncouth men of this land cannot begin to compare to his magnificence. So refined and majestic is his posture, why, the mere thought of it brings me to ecstasy. Once he becomes our sovereign, Renan shall bloom anew, ushering in an era of prosperity for our grand civilization. Till that glorious day comes, I shall forever be praying for his victory, morning, noon, and night. What do you think, my lord? I poured my whole heart into it, hoping to capture your essence. Wait! I forgot to mention anything about his lordship's love for collecting things. I must take this time while the lines are down to append it. Only then will my masterpiece be complete. Fucking Dohalim
I guess she
fangirl.
intended to spread it throughout all of Lenegus then.
Good thing the lines were down so she couldn't.
It almost sounded like she was praising them too.
Maybe there was more to the guy than at first glance.
I shall refrain from commenting.
I'm standing right here. I never. To think anyone would try to tear me away from House Valkyris.
What?
What do you want? Don't tell me you work for Lord Dohalim or that dreadful Lady Almadria, or Lord Almadria. Do you? You don't? Don't scare me like that. To answer your question, I come from a family that has served House Valkyris for generations. Indeed, I'm doing all I can to support Lord Ganabelt behind the scenes so that he might emerge victorious. Many think I'm a cruel man, but I insist they're utterly mistaken. I won't deny he can be a bit strict, and puts Renan's interests front and center like no one else. He advocates that rather than stay confined to Lenegus, we should get on with colonizing Dana, expand our horizons. That way, we become masters of both worlds. Overturn our current minority status on Dana's surface. That is why he seeks to become the next sovereign. Tell me, is there a greater, more noble ambition than that? I think not. It is a pursuit of power for the advancement of all our kind. It is what makes him an exemplary lord, a model above all others. Though I was unable to accompany him myself, my 2 sons have been blessed with the honor of joining him on the surface. As their father, fills me with endless pride. Sir?
Ganabelt was so horrible to people.
I apologize.
But he was invested in helping Rena succeed. Doesn't that seem just a little inconsistent?
I'm perhaps biased in this matter, I admit. However, in my mind, while all lords vie to become
Yeah.
sovereign, they're also meant to serve as guardians of all of Rena.
Yeah.
Seems like Ganabelt also had people he cared about until the very end.
So why couldn't he extend that to us Danans?
When you're raised to think of one people as nothing but tools, it warps your perspective. Turns even somebody with noble ambitions into a monster.
This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district.
Are there any noble intentions
The
that
effects of Lenegis' transformation appear
that
to be
forget
less pronounced.
compassion?
Or, viewed another way,
That's when
this
you
area
become the
was
monster.
simply luckier.
Alright, who do you serve, ma'am?
Pardon me.
This area falls under the sole jurisdiction of House Kyneris. I must ask you to depart at once. Surely you don't claim to be ignorant of our famed house, ruled over by the esteemed Lord Almadria. Oh, that makes sense. If so, I urge you to listen well. In fact, I bid you listen carefully regardless. Have you ever noticed how in the history of Lenegis, only a few women lords have emerged to compete in the crown contest? Many have theories as to why this might be. Lord Almadria quashed any doubts of any naysayers through sheer might. In fact, not only did she usurp her father and previous family master, she also removed her older brother to claim the seat for herself. She is a woman who stops at nothing to get what she wants, who gives her enemies nary the slightest opening to strike. She is a proud woman who don't need no man. She does need a therapist, though. Truly, Lord Almadria is a woman of talent. No one in all of Rena better exemplifies the virtues of our nation's meritocracy. Soon the age of glorious women's sovereign, of a glorious woman's sovereign, reigning over Lenegis, shall be upon us at last.
I guess her willingness to stoop to any low came from a survival of the fittest worldview.
And some people here not only shared her belief, but championed it as morally right, too.
That doesn't make it true. Too bad they couldn't see through
Look.
her.
Yeah.
Look. I know as a, predominantly male white guy, I don't really have much place to say a whole lot on things. But just my take, and this might be a hot take, I don't know. Harkening back, the moment you lose compassion, your fight for equality often skews. And there really should be no boundaries established for such petty things like gender and other physiological differences. That's just fucking dumb. But for fuck's sake, you can't go around turning people to goop just to establish equality. That's not how it works. Bitch. Anyway, tell me about Volrun.
Ridiculous.
How loathsome! Oh, I was just reading about Volrun. Can I help you?
Okay.
I was always an ardent supporter of Lord Urwagil Hildress. Sorry. But not for his sudden death down on the surface. I likely still would be. In my eyes, Lord Urwagil is the true Water Lord. Don't believe for a second that he perished in some accident, like they say. As for how Volrun runs Ganeth Heros, don't get me started. I hear he enslaves not only Danans, but even his fellow Renans. He may live in a society where to the victor go the spoils, but his actions go against what we as a people stand for. Besides, just what sort of family line is this House Ignisari? Fucking hell. And I make terrible names, and this is a lot to take in. Never heard of it until he came along, which means they must be among the lowest dregs of society. That such an ignoble lineage could suddenly produce an astral artist capable of ascending to lordship is unheard of. I don't know if it makes any sense. Not to mention all of the upheaval around here of late. What's happening to our people? What's happening to our home?
Seems like the people on Lenegis don't really know much about Volron either.
I remember being quite surprised when the Lord of Ganeth Heros changed so abruptly.
Didn't you have any doubts that something suspicious was going on?
Of course.
On the contrary. Remember, we Renans are raised to accept everything at face value.
Oh, it's true. Never mind. It's fair.
When you think about
Not
it,
right, but fair.
families of Renan lords must see them differently than the rest of us.
Yeah, despite the brutality they're known for.
They must have had a lot on their shoulders, carrying all the weight and responsibilities of Renan society.
Renans live in a world where strength and power determine their position in the social hierarchy, so they tend to grow up fiercely competitive.
Yeah.
But their loyalty to their people is also strong. It's what brings them together against
their
outside
people.
forces, and nothing exemplifies that more than the Lords.
That's what makes them the guardians of all of Rena, so to speak.
Right. It's the same reason Balsif hated my guts, and Ganabelt went after you. Because we're threats to Rena.
Yep.
Guess that makes you an even bigger oddball than we thought.
So, Alphen, have you gained anything from all of this?
Insight.
Yeah. I think
Perspective.
it's made me realize that the lords were all people, too. Balsif and the others, they all had their own circumstances to deal with as they went through life.
Yeah, but still, just because they had loved ones in their lives doesn't mean...
Yeah.
I know. What they did was horrible. I'm
Doesn't
not trying
forgive
to
their
dispute
horrible
that.
actions.
But at the same time, they weren't incomprehensible monsters either. They were individuals, just like the rest of us. So I guess what I'm trying to say is...
You're saying that they weren't bad because they were Renans, or because they were terrible monsters. Even if they did terrible things, they were still just people.
Rinwell.
People can be
Am I wrong?
awful to one another.
Not at all.
Being a Danon doesn't make
They
you
can
a
be
good
remarkable
person.
to one another as well.
And being a Renan doesn't make you a bad one. I think that's something we've all seen.
People
Shion
are
and
people,
Dohalim definitely make a good
no
case
matter
for
where
it.
they fucking come from.
And I'm going to keep doing my best to make sure
Noble,
I earn that trust.
lowborn,
As a fellow
Danon,
human being
Renan,
above
man,
all
woman,
else.
doesn't fucking matter. We all have the capacity to be assholes, and we all have the capacity to be compassionate individuals. Choose compassion! Hashtag choose compassion. Anyway, enough of my soapboxing.
I'll
Let's
hold
get
on
on.
to that.
Let's get on with the. Oh my God, Dohalim! It's so refreshing to not have somebody fucking ask what that is every fucking time. Let me just tell you, that's the best part about you being in the league.
There's something I just don't get.
What is it?
The crown contest itself has always gone ahead as planned, right? In which case, the current sovereign of Rena should be whoever it was that won the previous contest.
Stands to reason.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, who was it then?
Hanfried Milgras, the former
I love
Lord
his
of
name.
Cyslodia, if memory serves.
Oh, Cyslodia won last time? Hell yeah!
Whatchamacallem.
Cyslodian pride, guys.
Current ruler of Rena?
The last I heard, yes.
Go Team Cyslodia!
Though, admittedly, I haven't actually seen him since the end of the previous contest.
You're saying that ever since becoming sovereign, he's never actually shown himself on Lenegis?
I guess over holocom maybe, but not in the flesh. Same
Suspicious.
thing goes for the sovereign that came before him.
Now that you mention it, I don't recall anyone ever visiting Lenegis from the motherland, sovereign or otherwise.
And that never struck you as a little bit odd?
Well, now that I'm saying it out loud, but...
When you live here, it's as if you're conditioned not to notice all these strange quirks and discrepancies. The question is then, by whom? And to what end?
A new Renis Alma is supposedly created to coincide with every crown contest, meaning each victor is awarded their very own. In other words, if that's true, there should be as many of the things out there as there have been contests.
True, but
They would all be on...
going on what we witnessed in Pelagian,
know.
it didn't look like the sort of thing that could be made to order. But if even the victor's speeches have been part of some grand deception, then where are they? Quite frankly, I'm not even sure what to believe anymore.
You and me both.
Then
Though
let's
we are
stop
Renan
believing
by
and start
blood,
seeking the truth.
Neither of us even knew that such a thing as a Dark Master Core existed, remember?
With any luck, the Forbidden Zone might give us some answers.
No use standing around here chatting about it then.
So,
Let's get a
this
move
is
on.
the 5th time we've been told to go to the Forbidden Zone. Cool. I'm glad we got that established. Any other gels or treats for me? No? Alrighty then. Oh, more? More? Okay.
Doe?
Faria.
Oh,
Varia.
shit.
Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was...
Would you shut the fuck up, Law?
Why are you here? Wait. Don't tell me you've given up on the crown contest and come crawling back home from Dana already. Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord, you still...
Kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Danon rock, you haven't changed one bit. But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
Fair.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings you peace.
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die.
Told her
No
off.
wonder you leave it to someone else. You're just a coward!
Hello, Clarice. Well, that's probably fine. Maybe.
Dohalim.
I apologize that you had to witness that.
Is it true? What she said about you killing someone?
We already
Each of us
established
have our
that.
pasts. I am no exception.
Before, back in Menancia, you mentioned having taken a friend's life over the throne. Is that what she meant?
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take your life if she wanted to?
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest, and to ensure continued coexistence in Menancia. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions I still seek answers to. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does.
Dohalim!
Forgive me. Some things are best left unsaid.
Bitch, we just went over this with Shion! You asshole. God, his arc is depressing. Alright, where are we going? Anything back over here I missed? No? Cool. Let's press on before Dohalim says anything else stupid. And for a smart guy, you're remarkably dumb. Are those kids fighting Zoogles? You should be down there helping. You are a cowardly old prick, you know that? Get in there, kid! You look like a teenager. Help those 12-year-olds! Could not have been much older than that. Probably aren't even older than that. Probably aren't even as old as that. It's anime, after all. There's a fire over there. Just openly burning. You know, like every day. And people are just chill, walking around, doing their business. Renans are weird. I'm a little surprised I haven't been stopped for another scene in a while. Nothing? Alright, moving on.
Wow,
Ooh.
this place is beautiful.
Yeah.
They've got trees and
Must
shit.
be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
Nice.
You think? Man, these Renan sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together.
They were younger.
Avakir, Faria, and Tarnagan. That was a lifetime ago now.
Tarnagan. He was the one that Faria mentioned, right?
He was once my dearest, closest friend. As well as Faria's betrothed. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority and introduced her to Tarnagan and Avakir.
They spelled it wrong in that one.
It was a time of great joy.
Spelled it Targetin.
Four people bound only by their love of
Weird.
music, with no care for
Subtitles
social
are not always on
standing.
point.
Only the next song, the next melody.
A friendship based on mutual respect, and a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You really are different, Dohalim.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
I would have, once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing. Besides, it was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundations for coexistence in Menancia.
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was
Buddy.
merely following the wishes of my own heart.
More people need to do that.
And even then, it only lasted
Sometimes
until
less
the
people need to
crown
do that,
contest
but-
began. After that, Tarnagan and I became fierce competitors for the position of Lord. Tarnagan had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not so benevolent.
What happened?
Tarnagan was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance. But he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of defeat.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait. Don't tell me she doesn't know.
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less. she would have been devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty. Instead, I decried my fate and looked away from what I'd done. As for what happened after, that you already know.
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Danans there would still be suffering under Renan oppression like before.
I don't think your friend would have been nearly as benevolent as you.
Shion's right. What other lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else and I would have been dead long ago. You've saved so many people, Dohalim. You saved me. It's thanks to you that I'm here today. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on your own shoulders is too much for anyone to bear.
Frank as always.
It's a good name.
But I shall do my best to heed your advice.
Don't worry, buddy.
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah,
One
I
step at a
think so.
time.
He's got Kisara.
It's important to have someone like that.
I didn't realize how difficult it is just to be there for someone.
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough. And he knows, Shion. I promise he does.
I hope you're right.
I'm sure we're being spied on by the other guy.
Alphen,
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than I can count.
Maybe.
Hell yeah.
I still wanted to say thank you.
Ah, you're welcome.
I see a medic and supply officer
Ooh.
over there. If they know you're with me, they'll likely offer their
Hot damn!
assistance.
Oh wait, that's right, there's nothing over here. There's nothing in this big park, it's just pretty. I'll
What do you
flash,
say
no
we check
substance.
back in on the ranch?
That's right, these guys can actually get to the ranch. I don't know how, but... Give me my food. Nom 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 nom. And then some fat cows. And then regular everything else. Because I don't want to waste my money. You know, too terribly much. Yeah, we're good. Look like that lady that chewed me out about Almadria earlier. Oh wait, hold on. You. Weapons. I know you have new ones for me. I just need money. Just need sweet, delicious money. Just give me that sweet, delicious money. I need all the money I can get, at the very least, to get Doha a new weapon. Because, as we're about to learn, I am shit at playing Dohalim. I am just not good at his fighting style. But I feel it important to play him because this is Dohalim's arc. Yes, please. The cannon isn't so good. I know I want to get Rinwell's as well, because even this one is a big upgrade. I need another 6,000 or so. would like to get that too, but I don't think I'm gonna have enough money. Alright, that was pretty good. We saw about 10 of these off. Several of those. Anything else with decent payout or high number, high quantities? I think it's enough. Yeah, there we go. Equip! Alright. That's all I really have the money for, and I don't want to spend too much more. And given the fact that I need money, I'm gonna need stuff. So hook me up, Law.
Hell yeah! There's no way you can complain about how this tastes.
Okay. I'm good. It's good beds here. Yeah, sure. I can poke my nose in here real quick. Welcome to...
Damn it.
Le Dungeon!
Soldiers.
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Well,
So that's a no on the avoiding combat.
I command you.
Threats to the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed or not, if they want to fight, they got one.
Punch! Bam, bam, bam. On your knees.
You'll soon see about that.
Ow. See, one of the important things about Doha's fighting style is getting his rod extension, which only happens if you avoid an attack perfectly. Ow. However, for some reason, Kisara ends up being just super hype on her mystic art with his party setup. So we're going to be seeing this a lot.
Here, let me help.
Can you take it? Make it break! Shield!
There we go.
This one's got your name on it.
Action to action!
Oh, Violet.
Dance on the wind!
A chain between heaven and earth. I'm out of ammo. Oh,
Can you take it?
Get out of my way.
This one's got your name on it.
Also, he does not dash at enemies after they've been defeated,
Those soldiers seem
which is the
different
worst
from the
part of his
soldiers
fighting
we've come
style.
across so far.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for sure. They just attacked without warning.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Dohalim's presence either.
Indeed.
Yeah, assholes.
They seem to recognize us as enemies, nothing more. And yet, traditionally, Lenegis hasn't been high on threats. A few frenzied Zeugles during experiments here and there, but not much else.
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me
Yeah.
of the soldiers and slaves we met back in Ganath Harris. The
They've been
ones in blind devotion to Volron.
I've never seen
Even
anything like that
indoctrinated,
here
just-
on Lenegis before.
Maybe someone doesn't
Brainwashed.
want us here, and the soldiers are their way of letting us know.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron,
Well, they played their
we're
hand.
starting to develop quite the growing list of adversaries. At least we'll know to keep our wits about us.
They played their hand. Now I know they don't want us here. Perfect. Wow, 7 grape gels? Hell yeah. Also, just so you're aware, I can fast travel back down to Dana. So, I don't know what that means exactly. But it's a good thing. I want to consider it a good thing, at least. Anyway, we'll continue this this dungeon next time. Hope you're enjoying yourselves, and if you are, let me know down below, like, comment, subscribe, and yes, there are giant mantises here too. And we'll come back next time and continue further down into this hellhole. Till then, you always subscribe to stay. I'll see you next adventure. Later.